person to comment, get some T-Web 3 coin sent to their wallet. All right, so we are going to play the spin wheel tonight. We're going to spin this wheel. There's going to be a chance to win some T-Web 3 coin, which I produced and is launching soon. So tell your friends, let's get involved tonight. Let's get keyed up. Let's spin some wheels. We got the total crypto market cap on the 1 minute chart right now. We're looking at it bouncing around here for fun until some folks get in here. If you're a viewer, you got to comment. If you want a chance to win stuff, you got to comment. Been about a week, I guess, so I'm back. I've been super crazy busy with this coin stuff, trying to educate myself on so much. I don't even know how you'd like technology to make it happen, that just trying to educate myself to get it right. There he is, my man. Trying to get it right, then being out of town, visiting my dad, dealing with a lot of stuff for him. Been a crazy busy week or so. When I'm back, it's calming down. Not to mention 5 million cheerleading practices and games I have to go to and cheer on the cheerleaders. Never saw myself doing that when I was in high school. I was like, I'm going to go cheer on cheerleaders because I'm a dad. That's what you do. But the total crypto market cap, struggling. It's struggling. It's just really struggling to get anywhere near that $1 trillion market cap again. And I think it's going to continue to struggle. We may get, like right now, the 1 minute chart showing like, oh, there's upside coming. Yeah, well, cool. Go team. That's right. Go Pirates. Go Pirates. The one day, let's straighten that out. But on the daily, we might have a little bullish hammer going on here. We're starting to turn positive on the MACD. Don't know. I don't think we'll break the trillion mark. I mean, that's a lot of money, but some crazy stuff could happen. On the weekly, it's still kind of bullish. It's finally turned. We had this divergence try to play out. We bounced off a level that I have had this line in the sand right here drawn out for months. I don't know, since the top. I'm like, here's the levels we can go down to. And as they go down, we've been deleting them. I mean, I'm going to say at least since December 21. But it's skirting it. It just keeps testing it. But to get up to that 1 trillion, over that 1 trillion is probably going to be a real task. but we get to look at it anyway. Let's see what log scale's got for us. So we're getting real close, and this upwards trend line has been drawn for a while. OJ, what's happening, my man? How's the weather? I'm pretty sure you said was it Houston, San Antonio, right, OJ? Is it hot? Is ball still there, or have y'all started getting some fall weather? We just this like last couple of days have gotten some amazing that 80, 78, 80 degree weather, no humidity. All of us fat people are out just in the streets, running around, taking clothes off. It's amazing. It is. But on the total market cap, every time we hit this trend line, we take a hell of a bounce. You know, right here. Way back in 15, we hit it, and this is what's really awesome about crypto is it's a lot more predictable than Houston. That's right, Houston. Is the weather doing good there? I mean, are y'all good? Is it hot? Oh, y'all getting fall weather? Yeah, let's just hope it lasts. I doubt it. In Mississippi, Christmas Day, we could have 85 degrees, high humidity, and everybody gets sunburned trying to open presents. But we ended up bouncing off this line. I mean, we made a 43% retrace to the candle close after hitting that line back in 2015. We can go back and look. Where's this? Another time in 2015 we hit it. Made a rip of 137%. Several other times we've gotten close, which it also kind of follows that 200-day moving average. So it's not like it's anything new, but it's just something I've had drawn for a long time that I want to live by here. Let's look at this last time was March 9th of 2020. What happened? We hit that line. Once again, we bounced off that line 44% to candle close. That's a on a weekly chart, that's a big rip, dude. That's it, man. So here's where I'm getting at. Here's what I'm getting at. All right, that line right there has been drawn. We've got all of our touch points. We know it's correct. Look what's coming upon. Look how close we're starting to get. And I've been saying it. Assets, period. Stock market, crypto. All of it's gonna just flounder sideways. Going into elections, though, going into midterms, we're going into midterms. They're gonna get some bumpage. There's gonna be some manipulation pushing it to look better than it is. We've almost back tested this line right here again at the $800 billion mark, but we're getting awfully close to this line. At some point, we've got to hit it and get a reaction. Not saying that we're going up, but we could easily run back up to 1.8 trillion on the total market cap, still make a higher low and be okay. We'll look at the total 2 market cap. We've already broke below that, and now this is where it's excluding Bitcoin. So total 2 is all cryptos combined, taking Bitcoin out of the equation, and you can see what we've done. You know, it bounced and bounced. We've broke below it. So that's telling me there's a lot of weakness in altcoins, period. All right, then we've got total 3. Crypto's a long-term asset. We're not even going to look at the little stuff on these time frames. But look at this pitiful situation here we've got with you're taking out Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money in shit coins. It really is. So I'm not too down on it. Kind of pumped about it, waiting for it to happen. But the corns, the bits of the corns. All right, I had this drawn out the other day in Discord, showed some folks, and I really believe we're following this pattern again. If you look back, April of 13 to November of 13, we had that initial high, pretty nice retrace, pretty massive retrace. A secondary pump to all-time highs at the end of that year, and then we trickled. Now we can get a date and a time until we hit bottom. So we'll go from there to the bottom was 57 bars, 399 days. Okay? We that was over a year of dumpage from that secondary high. Now we look forward a little bit from the 17 bull run that kind of crashed out at the beginning of 18. We didn't have that secondary high, but then again, it had so much more exposure, and people really started hearing about it more on the news. It was known. This right here was the geek world, computer geeks. This was people who were in the know. This was us. But we didn't have that secondary pump. A lot of people got spooked, but it just doesn't look the same as what we're seeing here. This was more of a double top situation. What I like about it is the two highs. Your peak to peak, April and November, your two peaks. April and November, your two peaks. That's pretty wild that it played out perfectly almost to the day. That's shady, manipulative type shit, but I like it. We're going to measure out our days, 399 days, something-ish from here. Where are we? Right there. So to hit the same dates, we're talking about December 12th of 2022. We're getting close to that, folks. We're getting close to that. So we're looking at if we're going to repeat to exactly sometime in December, we could possibly see a bottom. And that's where we want to be stacking in case it doesn't happen, in case it turns and we're a little early on the cycle because now more people know about Bitcoin and more people own it, more people have it. It has, back here the market cap was hundreds of millions. Now we're just under $1 trillion. There's still a lot of money in crypto. So you can expect that you may speed the process up, but you're still going to follow close to that 4-year cycle. I'm okay with it. December, we're a few months away from possibly seeing our bottom. And if we want to look back, we thought that, everybody thought that was the low, and then it started going back up like it did, that particular leg, really similar to that. But everybody thought that was the bottom. Then they thought that was the bottom. And then we had that horrible capitulation. Now, from what I can tell, we've had the first bottom that everybody thought was the bottom. Okay? We've had, some people would argue that there's our second low, there's our third low, we should be bouncing and ripping. I think that you see, get my brush. So what we're seeing here, let me draw there. I think what you're seeing there hasn't happened yet. Personally, I think that is where we're at. I think we're working for this. And then there. I think we're in this phase. But anyway, that's Bitcoin. We can go down to the 4 hours, see what it's doing momentarily here. Looks like the MACD's trying to go positive on us with ever so slightly hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour. 1 hour's losing steam. The daily, we may get a recovery bounce. Today was okay. Not really. It's more sideways. A $300 or $400 pump is not shit on Bitcoin. So we're going to need some more follow through price action, which we could possibly have going into tomorrow. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't hang my hat on it. I mean, you can look here. You've got a little Class A bullish divergence going on the daily. That could manifest into some higher highs. We might get up and see a $22,000 Bitcoin and still have a lower high. So I wouldn't get too excited just yet. The weekly, like I said, the weekly is still kind of just moving sideways. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum's merge, absolutely garbage. Had nothing. All the hype was just that hype. It was retail hype, and it was buying. It could go. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, man. Everything follows Granddaddy Bitcoin. So, regardless of the horseshit news, it's going to follow Bitcoin. You'll get your one or two outliers that do some crazy stuff. That's manipulation. That's 2-3 people pumping it. Whatever. But, I mean, Ethereum's looking just like Bitcoin. It's hanging in there. It's doing its thing. It's about to turn positive on the daily. If I was going to take a position in Ethereum and the 4 hour, the 1 hour's kind of petering, I would enter Ethereum right now in a long position and probably look to play it on a rip to about 14... about just over 1,400. Now, this is a smaller time frame. We could get a lot higher prices if we really want to zoom out. I'd say 1,600 max. And that's, we'll get our little tiny divergence play out, and that'll be it. And what we have on the daily is pretty wicked, too. It's not a doji. It's more of a really small hammer or an evening star. Yeah. I believe that's called an evening star. That long wick down and that little body. / doji-ish. So if I'm taking a position in Ethereum, it's going to be long. And I'm probably going to have a stop loss set down around $1,216. And I'll probably have take profits at the 1477 level. And another take profit set at 1573. Probably let the rest ride and see what happens to it. I would just keep moving I'd like a laddered stop loss. I'd keep moving my trailing stop loss up as we rip. Dogecoin, my favorite, just doing nothing, not giving me any kind of love. It's just sideways forever and ever. But it's not dumping. So that's always positive. Old Shiba Inu, following Dogecoin, it's just ripping sideways, just trucking it along sideways. We're about to turn positive, but at these prices, that, a 10% you almost don't notice in the price. It's almost not worth changing a position. You hang on to that position for sure. Trying a little something different today with my whiskey. I moved over to Jack Daniels just to see if I still liked it. No Buffalo Trace today. Going to Jack. Any other cryptos y'all want to take a look at that anybody might be interested in? We'll go down and look at the stock market. Crypto has just been so bland here lately. Just nobody's hype about it anymore. That's usually when it gets dull and not exciting. That's when it makes a crazy move one way or the other. We had some nice rips on stuff today, and some stuff that I would like to point out that I am taking a very risky gamble on. And I alerted it in Discord today for all the members. But let's look at it together. Monero. We'll look at Monero. Sure. I really like Monero because of their policies. Like, I like that whole privacy situation. Everyone else is like, but I think they're cool. That's great. I don't care if someone's buying missiles or jets with it. That's not my problem. But I alerted this today. And if I was going to gamble, I think I have. I'm trying to remember. I may have like 4 to 6 or 7 contracts. I didn't go deep into it, didn't go hard. Maybe $150 just as a gamble. Like, hey, let's roll the dice and see what happens. Because it's one of those things. The technicals are not really screaming it, but it's past history of saying that it's a possibility. And that, with 4 to 10 contracts, if this thing does what it always does, it could be some serious, serious gains for sure. And I think what I had learned, it was a $200 put. Let's go over this. Let's look. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. It's very Bart Simpson-ish. You see these Bart Simpson patterns right here? Every time. Now this is the weekly, so it's going to let it play out now. We're going to take this big, huge rip, and we trickle down over the coming weeks. But even you make some pretty nasty dips weekly and daily. We look at the daily on it. Let's look at this last one. This last Ripponacci. Look at that percentage dump from its high to just the top of the candle is a 15% move. But from its high to the low, the last candle's 20+%. You're at 32%. If you want to wait to that bottom, you're talking about 52% move. But it always retraces. Look at this one. This is more so what I'm planning on it doing. Look at the gap down. Big candle up. That second day, red candle, which we started getting today, and then a nasty gap down. I'm planning on seeing this gap down to the 200 range, 220. If it gaps down from, say 277, let's just say we get down to like 210, 220, that kind of move in an option, that's going to be massive. Same thing here, just a huge wick, and it just trickles out. So with today's action, we gapped up, and then we started showing a little red candle. But some buyers came in on all the stupid news being pushed and hyped. That's all right. I'm going to give it time. We'll give it time to die, because it typically does it. We got a week or two. It's just going to be weak and make a lower low. Anyway, that was my gamble for today. Just strictly rolling dice. Monero's MR something. Hold on. It has been a minute since anybody requested Monero for sure. I look at it, but I don't look at it. It's not on my list. Monero to Bitcoin to the US dollar. We'll look at it on the Kraken chart. That's cool. XMR, excuse me. Oh, look at her. The world's largest cup with handle possibly forming. All we need is that little handle to rip on up and then take off. Some divergence tried to play out, which really didn't result in much, but lower highs. Kind of with everything else, I'm kind of stoked that we're still on that trajectory right there. Probably more so that to, yeah, that would make sense right there. So we bounced off that trend line. We have chances to move, but like everything else is going to follow. It's already turned green, and it's still just it's petering sideways on the daily. The 4 hour showing that you might get a little more action. Probably 151. Yeah, their policy of like we won't tell people shit if you don't. That's cool. I like that. Ain't nobody business where my money goes or when I spend it. Go ahead and let the government take what they want. Like before it gets to me, then leave me alone. Then don't worry about where my money goes, what it does. You got your part. Oh, what did OJ ask for? But yeah, I'm a big fan of Monero. It's just doing what everything else does. I'm not stoked with it. APYX. Great. Come on, OJ. You hit me with another medical corporation, biofarms, medical. I'll tell you right now, the only things, any medical devices, any biofarms, they are all just fundraising to keep the companies going, keep research and development. If you're going to get into healthcare or anything medical wise, it needs to be like, was it CHS? I think CHS is one ticker, like Merit Health hospitals everywhere. Get into chain hospitals. They're financially stable. It doesn't make a bunch of big moves. These make big moves. I get it. It can be a gamble. You can roll some dice. But let's look at them start with the weekly, as always. We're in the bearish control zone on the RSI. That little rip is losing all of its momentum. We're now turned negative on the Momo. We're not down to, we got like a historical, kind of a historical low at $1.64. We're not there. Next level, we're looking at there at 306. And any other significance would be 385. And then you'd be somewhere, you'd start looking at resistances coming in somewhere in that range. That range. And that range is shit right there. There's your ranges from 927 to $1.64. That's tops and bottoms. These little spikes here. Where are we at? I'd be looking at it. I'd be looking at it in a put on a longer term to go down and touch this 385 level. The daily's showing it try and turn, but it's also. Let's see. I will remove those drawings from where it bounced. I mean, it's an area. You got some bounces here and it ripped. Bounced there and it dumped. There and ripped. Hit it again, dumped. Resistance. I mean, it's an area at 446 and it's showing that it's got a little something, but it's got convergence going on, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Oh, let's see. It's not nothing. It's not exciting for me. If that plays out, it's just convergence. It's nothing special. 4 hour, same thing. It's just assumed that the trend's following direction, and honestly, the trend's direction is kind of down. It can get these big crazy spikes, so it's a nice gamble. I wouldn't go very hard in it at all. You want to throw $100 in it, see what happens? There's nothing wrong with that. All right. Other words, we just had a crazy pointage day and that's okay. We're going to get reactions. We're going to get bounces. We had a 600-point day off the Dow. What's pretty neat is I really feel like we're closer to 27,000, and we are, than we are for the 33. I just think we're going to test this line again. Got to. There's no reason not to. Nothing's changed about the world around us today, and investor sentiment has not changed. Today was one of those, it just happened. You can't take too much into it. The daily is saying, it's trying to lose it, but we had one of those pumps here. What did we do? We built more negative momentum and went down just massive percents. Let's check that out on the daily. From our last green candle to our low, we dropped another almost 7% after everybody got stoked about that shit. The 4 hour, we're showing that we're turning a little bit, and that's because of this price action right here. The 1 hour is already starting to get on up there. It can keep going. But the Dow had a nice rip. I'm not getting too excited. You had a pretty decent rip on the NASDAQ. Still nothing super exciting, just because we all know where everything's going. You can look at right here on the S&P. We're kind of showing support at that level right there, that 36.63. But all we're doing, we're testing it once, testing it twice. Now we need to see follow through price action. It could turn in and just develop to a lower high, and we could go as high as, realistically, we could hit 41, 4,200 and still make a lower low and just dump again. I just don't feel like that's where she wants to go. I do not. I think you can try and play some small daily moves to the upside if the trend's that way that day. The 4 hour, we're turning bullish on that after being once, twice, and oversold. We'll look back and see what it did last time we had a double tap of oversold. And it's done it a couple times. Once, twice, nice rip of, 7% rip. Only to fail. You come back here once, twice, small rip. Once, twice, small rip. Once, twice, small rip. Lower highs, lower highs. Once, twice. Wouldn't doubt we see another small rip. So yeah, may have some green days this week. Nothing too exciting though. Anyhow, all right. I ran through a couple things. You two have, out of everybody that's on here, and y'all are in Discord every day. Y'all are grinding it out. Y'all get the alerts. Y'all are on top of things. Y'all don't need very much help from me. Y'all know what I look for, and you get my alerts every day. But I appreciate you stopping by and taking your time. It is, I've been live 35 minutes, and just wanted to check in with you guys. We might get in deeper tomorrow. It's getting kind of late. Everybody's getting home from work doing their thing, so I'm going to hop off here and probably get a little drunker and cook something crazy. But I appreciate everybody that stopped by. If you watch this video later as a recording, please hit the like, subscribe,